Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Critères and I'm Senior Communication Officer at the Upgrade Clean Energy Facility of the Millennium Challenge Account Benin. Today we are presenting information of the second call for proposal of the Upgrade Clean Energy Facility. Before we get started, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. I will bring them up during the presentation, and we will also have time for the question at the end. Please also mute your microphone during the presentation. So, our presenters today are Mr. Joel Akoano, Director of Operation at Millennium Challenge Account, Benin 2. Mr. Mark Nunanyon, Decentralized Energy Project Manager at Millennium Challenge Account, Benin 2. And finally, Mr. Robert van der Plas, Team Leader of the Upgrade Clean Energy Facility, OCEF. So, without any further ado, I will kick off the webinar. I will kick off the webinar by welcoming Mr. Joel Akoano.
Thank you. So we'll be starting with a quick remarks around the program. So here we are. We will go through the following summary. We will talk quickly about the compass overview. Then we will move forward and talk about the opportunities in Benin and get into the detail, and then we present you the framework and then the call related to the proposal we will be receiving around that activity. So the compass. So the compass is a 43 billion grant, which is divided in two portions. We have 375 million coming from the American people and 28 million from the Benin people. So the compact entered into force the 22 June 2017, and it will be for 5 years. So this is mainly a power compact in Benin. So, and as you can see, this power Benin is comprised of a couple projects, and I will get into the details later on. So the compact, what's the objective of this compact? The objective of the compact is to improve the quantity and the quality of electricity supplied in Benin. So how that will happen? So that will happen by expanding businesses, production, and increase productivity. That will happen as well by generating, a greater economic opportunities for households, and by improving capacity to provide public and social services. So, as I was saying before, the main goal of this compact is to reduce poverty through economic growth in Benin. So, the main projects we are working on in this compact, are the four main activities. So, we have one of those activities related to the policy reforms and institutional strengthening. One of them is, the second one is related to the electricity generation. So we will be putting in place, some power plants where we will be producing, around 45 megawatts. The next one is the electricity distribution, where we will be reinforcing all the network. And the last one is the off-grid electricity assets. But all those four projects we will be implementing, taking into account all the environmental issues and also the integration of the gender and the social inclusion. So as I was saying before, yeah, we have 4 main projects, but we have 2 crossing activities, which are the environmental studies, and the social and gender inclusion.
Thank you, Mr. Joel Akorano. We will go ahead and take the presentation of Mr. Mark Akorano. Mr. Mark Noyon.
Okay. Hello.
Thank you, Christian. Now we are going to talk about a specific component of the compass, as you have said. Compass composed of 4 components. We are going to talk about the 4th component, which one activity is related to the regulatory environment for off-grid electrification. So when we're talking about the off-grid regulation, we have 3 main pillars, we can say. We have the policy and strategy of off-grid electrification, the off-grid electrification master plan, legal, institutional, regulatory, and tariff framework of the off-grid electrification. All these 3 pillars, once again, as Joel has said, we have, of course, questions related to gender and environment. All these working activity, what we are doing is, when we have this framework in place, we have to give support to actors, stakeholders, to have a good master of this regulatory framework. So we are going to work on communication and information. For this end, we set up a website. We talk about this in a while. We are going to give support by capacity building and training and so on. But now, when we are talking about regulatory framework or aspect of regulatory framework for off-grid, what are the target groups? As we have by 2013, we'll be having 8 cities, 71 localities covering a population of 1.7 million that will be off-grid. As you can see on the chart here, we have 23% of them that will be concerned about off-grid activities. And now, by the original 10 years from now, we have 74% of off-grid issues that we have access. That's what we envision. We have access to clean drinking water, health, education, and services. Of which 47, we have access to electricity. So the master plan gives us a picture of what the market, where we can do business. The market segment of off-grid can talk about the solar and mini microgrid for 4.8% of the population, when 159 localities, hydro mini grid for 0.4 of the population, 29 localities, PICO network and PV for community organization. We also have opportunities in solar long-term access to the services. However, we keep covering all the public lighting. What the regulation framework will keep for investors. Information that we can have on this is that everybody should know now that Benin is providing with a regulatory framework because the government has adopted early this month. The government has adopted the regulatory framework, so we are now okay to do business in Benin in the off-grid sector. The principle of tarification is that the principle of cost plus tarification that is guaranteed, meaning that the tariff reflects the cost plus the supply with a margin. And then we have in the grid off-grid aspects, we have 2 main actors that will be working this area. So we have the array, and then ABEM. Array is the Electricity Regulator Authority, and ABEM is the Technical Department of the Ministry of Energy. These are the two actors that will be dealing with which the investor in the off-grid as per area will be dealing with in Benin when they want to invest in the off-grid activity in Benin. So ABEM is the first one, and then the array should be the authority. And now to have more information to go further in the discussion on off-grid, so please follow us on the website beninenergy.org. So we have further information, the document I talked about, national strategy or policy of off-grid, master plan, regulatory framework. We have all of them on already on that website, and we have map. We can run. It is an interactive map, so it's very interesting that you try to visit this site. So thank you for your interest, and see you soon for your question.
Thank you, Mr. Mark, for your presentation. Just a reminder, be sure to type your question into the chat box if you have any question. We will go ahead and have the presentation of Mr. Robert van der Plas. Mr. Robert.
Thank you, Christel. So now the part that you all have been looking for, some information about the second call for proposals. I would like to say a few words about the OCEF, the Off-Grid Clean Energy Facility, and then speak more about the call for proposals. So the OCEF is one part of the compact, and it is basically a fund that is used to promote rural electrification off-grid activities. The objective is the same as the one for the compact, but in more detail, increase access to electricity for the currently unserved population in Benin. And that will be done by providing finance for organizations that want to promote the provision of electricity. So far, we have had one call for proposals where a funding envelope of about $12 million was available. We are currently evaluating the final round, the proposals, and in principle there are 10 proposals left over out of the 39 that have been submitted. These proposals are expected to be signed, the contract is expected to be signed early next year, and then they can start. In November, however, we will start the second call for proposals, which is much larger, and about 30 million will be available under 4 windows. And you will have to select the window that fits your needs. The first window deals with essential public infrastructure, and now we're talking about water supply, street lighting, hospitals, and other institutions in rural Benin to provide electricity for these institutions. The second window, and this is the largest window that is available, will be for mini-grids, for decentralized mini-grids in rural areas. You will have to look at the Plan Directeur, the Master Plan for Rural Electrification, to find the areas and also to find where the priority cities are that are not electrified at the moment. The third window is for distributed energy systems, mainly targeting households, but it can also target small businesses. Here, the idea is to disseminate with or without pay-as-you-go mechanisms a number of different types of solar home systems. The fourth window is energy efficiency measures, and this does not deal with rural and off-grid, but with the main grid. And the idea being that energy efficiency measures will reduce the total energy consumption used in the country and will therefore make more electricity available for other businesses and households. Then how will this go in practice? So who can apply? We are mainly looking for companies, and companies with a decent business plan for providing electricity in rural areas. But NGOs, local communities, international organizations, you are also allowed to provide, to submit a proposal. However, in all cases, what we'll look at is the business plan and how viable the business plan is. Then OCEF will provide co-financing for your activity. The co-financing will be in the form of a grant, but it will be entirely based on results. So during the preparation of the proposal, we will discuss certain milestones, and when the milestone is met, a payment will be made. Here are the four windows. You see that for this call, $20 million is available, and for the different windows, different minimum contributions from OCEF and maximum contributions from OCEF are available. For the first call for proposals, the leverage that OCEF funds received was almost 4, a factor of 4. So even though it is possible to ask for 75% co-financing from OCEF, in practice, companies that submit a business plan that ask for less co-financing score higher and have higher chances of obtaining the subsidy contract. The exact date that we will open the windows is not yet known, but it is most likely towards the end of November. The windows will be open for 90 days. After 90 days, you cannot submit a proposal anymore. So the co-financing from OCEF will be in the form of a grant, and technical assistance will also be provided. You have to, as project developer, have to contribute a minimum of 25% and a maximum of 75%. And as I mentioned earlier, the higher your contribution, the higher the score that you will receive. Now, one thing which is very important, and that you will have to pay more than lip service to environment, gender, social inclusion, safety, and health considerations. They have to be taken very seriously. More information will be available at our website, and if you are registered at the website, you will receive a notice that the windows will be opened and when they will be opened. And the last thing I would like to remind you that on the website there's also a matchmaking facility. If you're looking for local partners, this is where you can find them. I thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Robert, for your presentation. Now, if you have any questions, please type them into the chat box. We will answer them.
Hello?
Please.
I have a question. Is this funding also available for street lighting, so for illuminating the streets in the night?
Please take it again. Write your question in the chat box, then we will see it and write and share it and give an answer.
Okay.
Thank you. So you have your chat box in the control panel. Just write your question and we will answer.
Okay. I'll try.
Ok, la question. Il a need to be provided. How much financing needs to be provided as equity?
Thank you for your question.
Okay, I will try to answer a few. Yes, a copy of the PowerPoint presentation will be sent to those who are registered. The street lighting question I don't see, but yes, street lighting is one of the options possible.
Okay.
How many companies we are planning to shortlist? We have no limit. The registration goes through an electronic form at the website, and I advise you to not wait until the last minute because there is quite a bit of information to be provided. But any company that wants to submit a proposal can submit a proposal. Now, in terms of financing, we apply the following. You can apply for a maximum of 75% contribution from OCEF and a minimum of 25%. The remainder you should finance yourself. We are really not concerned how you finance it, but we need to have proof that you can finance it. So you can use subsidies from another organization. You can use equity. You can use your partner to provide equity or a subsidy. The combination of that is not important to us, but you have to provide proof that you can provide your contribution.
Thank you, Mr. Robert, for your answer. We also have other questions. Can we get a copy for the presentation?
Yes.
Yes. At the end of the webinar, we will make the presentation available for you. It seems that we have also other questions.
For Windows 2, for the microgrids, mini grids, as Mark indicated, the regulatory environment broken up in two parts, above and below 500 kilowatts. So there are different regulatory requirements below and above. And so I think this should answer your question. We can support up to 5 million in Windows 2 per project proposal.
Yes, we have also a question regarding the Windows 2.
I already answered.
Yeah, it's already answered. Another question: which kind of agreement you require to have with the local community before submission of offer?
Okay, this depends on the window that you want to use. For essential public services, you will need to have an agreement with the community. For having a mini grid, you absolutely will need to have an agreement with the community for the location of your power plant, but also for the right of way of the distribution grid. For Windows 3, you don't really need with the community, and Windows 4, this is not applicable. The proposals, again, will be made through the website. And there will be instructions how to do that and what you have to provide.
Thank you, Mr. Robert. We have also Robert's question regarding the proposal format. There is a question about the proposal format, in which format the proposal will be delivered.
Well, it will be submitted online, and the instructions will be in there. But there will be several forms to fill, and then there will be place to attach proof, such as your inscription in the Chamber of Commerce and other things. There's 2 rounds. The first one will be the 3 administrative, where we will look at whether you comply with all the requirements that we ask, and this will be a yes or no. Then the real evaluation will be in 2 parts. One will be a technical evaluation of all the proposals that met the 3 administrative, and those who scored the highest will be considered for financing. The limit is the amount of subsidy that we have. And then finally, the pre-selected proposals will go to the investment committee, and that will take a decision.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Mr. Robert, for your answer. We also have plenty of questions here. So I will there is also a question regarding the number of villages. Yeah. Mark, yeah.
Yes, I think we don't have a limited number of the villages, provided that your projects focus on the area that have been defined in the master plan. So you are free to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Mark, for your answer. We also have a question regarding regulation. So can you give us some explanation regarding that?
What's the question? Can you say that? According to the regulation, as Robert said a while, we have we split the action of the regulation into 2. We have initiative projects below 5 kilowatt, and we have projects above 5 kilowatt. That's capacity. That capacity are above 5 kilowatt. So if your project is under 5 kilowatts, just need an authorization by the authority appel that give the contract, and then if it is above 500 kilowatts, so you go through a bid process, and you have to. It is further strong process, and you have to make a bid, and the selection process will be driven under the control of the regulatory authority of electricity.
Thank you, Mr. Mark, for your answer. We also have a question regarding the Windows 2, the tariff available. Mr. Robert, do you have any answer?
Well, about the villages that are applicable for Windows 2. If there are two companies interested in the same village, it will be the village that decides. We will not have any influence on that. That will be decided on the local level. The list of villages is not limited. I think there are many villages, but please consult the master plan for this. It has actually quite a lot of information. In terms of the tariff, as Mark explained, the tariff, the principle is cost of supply plus a margin, but within reasonable limits. So you can propose the tariff that you want to apply. You will have to discuss it with the beneficiaries, but the regulatory authority will also take a look at it. And if the margins are excessive, there will be a negotiation of the tariff. But in principle, if everything is realistic and reasonable, it will be accepted as you propose it.
Thank you, Mr. Robert.
In terms of, I got also a question in terms of financing. Your own contribution can also consist of debt financing, and we will provide you with links to financing in organizations that are committed to help finance these projects. So the African Development Bank has a facility, and we will facilitate your discussion with them. But again, we are not concerned how you structure your own financial contribution, as long as you are able to provide proof how for the total amount. I also would like to say that the contribution from OCEF is tax-free. There is no VAT and no import duties.
So we have a question about income. Can we include income from selling the electricity from the co-finance plan, our own financial contribution?
No, there are clear rules on that, and you will find that when you apply. This is still under discussion. Certainly towards the end of the project, it might be possible, but not at the beginning.
Thank you, Mr. Robert. It seems like we have some question regarding.
Let me come in with the question about the VAT or taxes. We have some possibility in place, put in place by the government, that kind of facility or incentive for investors in the rural education. So if people that wanted to invest in the rural education, as we are saying, there will be they can have support from appel to help them to take all these opportunities about the tax exoneration and so on and so forth. So there is some opportunity on that.
And can you submit more than one proposal? Yes, you can, but you can only get one subsidy contract.
If you have any other questions, please type them in the chat box.
Maybe one more clarification. As Benin is a francophone country, the proposals must be in.
Well, thank you, Mr. Robert. It looks like we covered all the questions. If you have any other questions,
Can you comment on the secret about that?
Okay, still uncertainty about the 500 kilowatts. Below 500 kilowatts, an authorization is required, and this is more or less automatic, and it goes in parallel with the approval of the OCEF financing. Above 500 kilowatts, the law specifies that tendering is needed. So even if you identify a project above 500 kilowatts, there still needs to be a tendering process for that particular site. Now, this is all new, but there will be benefits for the company that identified the site.
Okay. Then someone asked a question about the information on regulatory reform. You can find it on the website at the address BenaineEnergy.org. BenaineEnergy.org. Okay. So now talking about the pricing. Yes, the pricing is not directly a criteria, but as we say, the principle of tarification is cost plus basis. But you have to, there is analysis of reasonability of the character of reasonability of the pricing. So the ARA, that is the authority of the regulatory the regulation of electricity, should look onto the tariff, and if it is okay with the regulatory the regulation, okay, it will give the approval for your project. So please, when you are trying to work on the pricing, try to be a little bit reasonable in the price. Thank you. So, okay, so the website we are going to. Can you? Yeah. We are going to write the address, the website address now. BenaineEnergy.org. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Mark, for your answers.
Okay. please let me insist once again, all the submissions should be in French. All the submissions should be in French. Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to add before the end?
Yeah, maybe I can add just this. The website, OCEF website, when you say OCEF, OCEF.bg, it is in French and in English as well. But the website through which we are going to make a submission, that is a smart MNE, it's only in French because the submission should be in French. But you can also have more information about the Millennium Challenge Millennium Challenge account Benin by checking mcabenin2.bg. You can have information. If you have any other questions regarding OCEF in general, please send a message to info@ocef.bg, and we can invite you to register on the newsletter so you will be updated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. It looks like we covered all the questions. We appreciate you being here with us. Please subscribe to our newsletter at mcabenin2.bg or ocef.bg to have more information about our upcoming events and call for proposals. We also made the video available for you at the end of the webinar. Thank you again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. We also have the frequently asked questions available on our website, so you can check them. Thank you for being with us, and see you next time.